Tensions along India's northern and eastern borders with China have intensified in 2025. Both nations are racing to develop hypersonic weapons, advanced fighter jets, and space-based surveillance capabilities. India's strategic planners know that deterrence requires a full spectrum of defenses, from the ground to the sky and into space. At the top of the priority list is over-the-horizon OTH radar, capable of detecting aircraft, ships, and missile launches up to 3,000 kilometers away by bouncing radar waves off the ionosphere. It could provide India with critical, early warning to respond before any threat reaches its borders. In the absence of a fully operational OTH radar, India relies on AWACS and AEW&C aircraft, which provide radar coverage of up to 400 kilometers around the aircraft and can track multiple targets simultaneously, relay real-time data to command centers, and coordinate fighters and missile systems. However, being airborne, their coverage is mobile and limited, and they cannot provide continuous surveillance like a permanent OTH network. In missile defense, the S-500 represents the ultimate shield, capable of intercepting intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, hypersonic glide vehicles, cruise missiles, and low-orbit satellites at altitudes up to 200 kilometers and ranges up to 600 kilometers. India does not yet have an S-500, but its layered defense network forms a partial substitute, S-400 Triumph. Long-range air defense system, capable of engaging aircraft at 400 kilometers, ballistic missiles at 60 kilometers, and cruise missiles at 250 kilometers, with multiple target tracking and simultaneous engagement capabilities. MR-SAM and Akash, medium-range defense against aircraft and missiles, 70 to 100 kilometers for MR-SAM. 25 to 30 kilometers for Akash, quick reaction and Spider, quick reaction and point defense systems, 25 to 30 kilometers range. Protecting mobile formations and vital installations, space-based capabilities demonstrated by Mission Shakti provide some deterrence against attacks on India's satellites. One-time ASAT anti-satellite tests cannot replace a continuous space defense network. In the air, India's fifth-generation fighters like AMCA are still under development. These aircraft are designed for stealth, supercruise sustained supersonic flight without afterburners, sensor fusion, integrating radar, IR, and electronic warfare data, network-centric operations, and high maneuverability using thrust vectoring engines. Such capabilities will allow them to evade enemy radar, strike quickly, and coordinate with AWACS and ground systems. The emergence of hypersonic missiles from adversaries adds urgency. These weapons, particularly hypersonic glide vehicles, can travel at speeds exceeding Mach 5, maneuver unpredictably, fly at low or high altitudes, and strike with very little warning, making them extremely difficult to intercept. India has begun testing its own HSTDV Mach 6 demonstrator and Shaurya missiles Mach 7, showing promise, but full operational deployment is still underway. In the absence of fully operational OTH radar, S-500 level interceptors, fifth-generation fighters, hypersonic missile, and a continuous space defense network, India has built a layered and evolving deterrence system, including AWACS and AEW&C aircraft for aerial surveillance, early warning, and command coordination, S-400, MR-SAM, Akash, QRSAM, and Spider for multi-layered missile defense, Mission Shakti and BMD Phase 1 interceptors for strategic space and missile defense, HSTDV and Shaurya missiles as emerging hypersonic strike options, AMCA 5th Gen project under development for future air superiority. Strategists know that deterrence does not come from a single weapon, but from integrating all layers and updating them continuously. Today, India's layered and evolving defense network is sufficient to counter China's growing technological and strategic capabilities, even as gaps in certain areas are being filled.